So I read The 13th Child by Erin A. This is the treasure of a book. I rate this book 6 out of 10 stars. It's not a bad book, and I want to explore this a little bit in depth because this is insanely good. This book explores a woman named Hazel who is a healer, and her job is to cure people from their ailments. Throughout the book, she deals with her patients from time to time, and there is a series of conflicts that she has to deal with, from the fact that some of these patients she has is going to die regardless of what she does. It has such a great character study of who Hazel is and what it is like for her in her own life as a healer. One of the reasons that I did not give it a 10 is because the certain aspect of this book's story world is lacking certain information that I really wanted to know. Unless the author makes another book expanding on this specific world, because there could be so much other areas that can be explored, and I can see it being explored in depth. One of the things about this book is that in this world there is different deities, and every one of these deities, or to some extent, they all have monasteries, and people working in these monasteries and dedicating themselves to these specific deities. Now, primarily in this book, the really important thing is, though, this book does cover only 3 specific people. You will find out very quickly when you read the book who they are. They're the primary focus of a certain aspect of Hazel's life. And that is something you gotta read for yourself to find out why. You have to read the book to find out more in depth of what I'm talking about, because I don't want to give away too much about the book. Another aspect that I really wish this book could have explored is the understanding of certain things. So for example, Hazel has a godfather named Marek, who is known as the god of death, or the dreaded one. Now, there's an aspect of this book where Hazel learns about these candles, and Marek explains to her that each candle represents a life, and the fact that he did a lot to create Hazel's candle, meaning her life. The book does not explore this in depth. It just gives you a minute or two to really understand the context of what Marek is saying to Hazel, but it does not explore this in much depth. It does come up throughout the book, it only comes up twice, so it does not explore that depthness, and there's a lot of other things that I didn't get to see, and there is another flaw to this book as well, and unfortunately it's a very, very sad truth that made me go, this is why it's a 6. One of the biggest aspects of this book is Marek tells Hazel from the very beginning of the book that he's going to help her, guide her, talk things out, and teach her things. However, this book does not explore that. He briefly talks about it, but it was only because Hazel made a choice, and he tells her not to make that choice and explains why she shouldn't make that choice. And that, to me, is a character flaw in world building. It's great when it comes to character study and development of the character as they progress throughout the story. However, it does not progress anywhere towards the world building, and also the fact that it mentions in the beginning of the book that was going to happen, where he's going to teach her things. He did not teach her anything. The closest thing you're going to get throughout this book that is going to be taught to Hazel is the candle of a life kind of situation, which plays a very big role in her story. He does not explain anything else to Hazel, and Hazel tends to find things out for herself. And where she gets this information from is not from a nice person. And it's because there is no communication to be had in these contexts. If there is any moment that I've missed throughout reading this, that he does tell her things, I do not see it. It does not seem to be said or shown. So it just upsets me a little bit on the fact that it does not share that. And I really, really wish the book explored that in depth. Like, I would love to have a moment where Marek teaches her something other than the candle of a life kind of vibe. I'm a big fan of it when it comes to that's the only thing he teaches her. I feel like there could have been so much more that he could have taught her, but he did not. And that's what upset me the most. And that's why it's down to a 6 instead of a 10. It is such a good book overall. I definitely recommend this for anyone who's interested. I definitely can see myself reading this book again, so it's going to stay on my shelf. And there's many other books, of course, I'll be revealing in the future. I thoroughly enjoyed this book, and if you think this book is great, let me know your thoughts on this book as well. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that way you know when my new video will be up. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!